I always thought secrets lived in whispers, not ink. But my wife, Emily, had a habit of writing everything, her thoughts, her dreams, even her guilt, in that leather-bound journal she kept beside her nightstand. For years, I respected it. Never touched it, never peeked. I believed that trust meant privacy. But trust, I learned, is only sacred when it's mutual, and hers had died long before mine. It started with small things. A missed call followed by a nervous smile. Late nights explained by work deadlines. A perfume that wasn't hers lingering on her clothes. I tried to ignore it, God, I tried, for the sake of our 2 kids, Lily and Ethan. But silence started to feel like complicity. And one night, that silence shattered. It was raining, one of those cold, endless rains that makes you want to stay home and hold on to what you love. Emily said she'd be working late again. I nodded, pretending not to notice the subtle excitement in her tone when her phone buzzed. She left at 8 p.m., and by 8:20, I found myself standing at her dresser, staring at that brown diary I'd never dared to open. Something inside me whispered, now or never. My hands trembled as I flipped it open. The first few pages were normal, grocery lists, little notes about the kids. But halfway through, her handwriting changed. It slanted, rushed, and carried emotion I hadn't seen in years. The first line that caught me read, "He makes me feel alive again, not like Daniel, who barely looks at me anymore." The air left my lungs. My own name on the page, compared to him. Every entry after that was a confession wrapped in poetry. "Last night in the cabin was magic," she wrote. "I know it's wrong, but when he touches me, I forget I'm married." She'd written about the hotel where she met him, how they'd lie to their spouses, how she felt trapped but thrilled. It was all their dates, places, even the text messages she said she'd delete. And then, the part that broke me beyond repair, "If Daniel ever finds out, I'll just say he's been distant for years. Maybe even make him feel guilty for pushing me away." That's when I realized, she wasn't just cheating. She was preparing to gaslight me if I ever discovered it. My hands shook, but I kept reading, because I needed to know everything. The last few entries were recent. Just 2 nights ago, "The kids think I'm at a late meeting. If only they knew I was wrapped up in his arms instead." I remember closing the diary, my heart pounding so hard I thought it might break through my ribs. For a moment, I just sat there, staring at the rain sliding down the window, realizing my marriage, our family, had been a lie. I didn't confront her that night. No screaming, no tears. Instead, I took photos of every page, stored them in a hidden folder, and sent them to my lawyer the next morning. I had proof, irrefutable, heartbreaking proof. When she came home, I greeted her like always. Kissed her forehead. She smiled, unaware that I'd already started preparing the divorce papers. For 2 weeks, I lived like an actor in my own life. Pretending. Planning. Watching her play the role of a faithful wife while the evidence sat waiting for its day in court. Then came the night everything came to light. I waited until the kids were asleep, then sat Emily down at the kitchen table. "We need to talk," I said, my voice calm but heavy. She frowned. "What about?" I slid the diary across the table. "You tell me." Her face drained of color. She opened it slowly, eyes darting from the cover to me. "You read it," she whispered. I nodded once. Every word. She tried to play the victim, tears, shaking hands, stammered excuses. "Daniel, I didn't mean for it to go this far. I was lonely, you've been distant," but I didn't let her finish. "Stop," I said. "You planned to say that exact line." Page 83. Her eyes widened in horror. I stood, placed an envelope in front of her divorce papers, and said, "You won't have to lie anymore. It's over." The silence that followed was the loudest sound I'd ever heard. She begged, cried that she'd lose everything, that the kids needed their mother. I told her, they need someone honest, not someone who writes betrayal like poetry. I walked upstairs, kissed Lily and Ethan goodnight, and slept in the guest room for the first time. The next morning, she was gone. Her ring was on the counter beside her diary, closed this time, as if she'd finally run out of words. The weeks that followed were chaos as lawyers, court dates, custody hearings. But I had the diary. Every entry, every timestamp. It spoke louder than any excuse she could fabricate. Her attorney tried to argue it was personal expression, but the judge saw through it. When custody came up, the kids were old enough to choose. Lily, 12, said quietly, "I want to stay with Dad." Ethan, 10, nodded beside her. Emily broke down in court, sobbing that I'd turned them against her. But the truth was simpler. Kids sense honesty. They'd seen her distance, her lies, her fake smiles. They'd seen me holding the house together while she chased feeling alive. After the ruling, the kids ran to me. I'll never forget the way Lily hugged me and said, "We're home now, right?" I nodded, swallowing tears. Emily moved out of town a month later. I didn't stop her. I didn't wish her pain, I just wished her conscience would catch up someday. Life became quieter, simpler. I cooked dinner with my kids, helped them with homework, laughed again without pretending. Sometimes, late at night, I'd see the diary on the shelf where I'd stored it, a reminder of the moment I chose truth over illusion. The betrayal still stings when I think of it, but it doesn't own me anymore. That diary, once her secret world, became my salvation, the proof that freed me. And though it ended our marriage, it gave me something far more precious back, the love and trust of my children. Because in the end, truth might break a family, but lies destroy it forever.